Today we are remembering the unforgettable day in Indian history. On 26 July 1999, 25 years ago, India defeated Pakistan in the Kargil war, ousting the Pakistani forces from their occupied positions in Ladakh. And as the Prime Minister led today's tributes to our heroes of Kargil, NewsX is holding this special telecast to highlight the stories of what happened in Kargil. And amongst the many heroes of the Kargil war, Captain Vikram Batra stands out for his exceptional bravery and leadership. His slogan, "Ye Dil Mange More," has become a symbol of war's indomitable spirit. He was born on the 9th of September in 1974 in Palampur in Himachal Pradesh. Captain Vikram Batra was always inclined towards serving the Indian Army and joined the Indian Military Academy in Manekshaw Battalion in Dehradun. Later, he was commissioned in the 13th Battalion of Jammu and Kashmir Rifles. On completion of his training, he was posted to Baramulla in Jammu and Kashmir. During the Kargil war, his unit was tasked with capturing point 4875 while rescuing other officers as well. Captain Batra was severely injured and later he succumbed to his injuries. He was awarded the Paramveer Chakra for his bravery, for his sacrifice, and for what he did for our country. We are joined by Mr. G.L. Batra, father of Captain Vikram Batra on the telecast. बत्रा जी, हमसे बातचीत करने के लिए सर आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. सर, अगर आप मेरी आवाज़ सुन पा रहे हैं? बत्रा जी, सर आज 25 वर्ष पूरे हुए हैं. कारगिल दिवस मनाया जाता है 26 जुलाई को. 7 जुलाई 1999 आपके सुपुत्र कैप्टन विक्रम बत्रा ने अपनी जान निछावर कर दी थी हमारे देश को बचाने के लिए, उसकी साख को ऊंचा रखने के लिए. आज के दिन को और इस 25 साल की तिथि को पूरा होने के साथ साथ आपके जहन में आज क्या चल रहा है?
देखिए, आज का दिन हमारे लिए, देशवासियों के लिए बहुत ही गौरवशाली दिन है ये, और इस पर हमें गर्व है. पाकिस्तान की नापाक हरकतें उन्होंने जो हमारे पीक जो है कैप्चर करके रखे हुए थे, विंटर में शिमला पैक्ट को डिसोबे करते हुए, और उन्होंने उनको कैप्चर किया था. हमारी फौज ने उनको ढकेला और अपनी जो हमारी चोटियां थी उनको रिकैप्चर किया. तो आज इस बात को 25 वर्ष हो गए हैं और इसे हम विजय दिवस के रूप में मनाते हैं. विक्रम जी को 2 मिशन एकम्प्लिश किया गया था. उन्होंने अपने दोनों मिशन, पहला मिशन 5140 को रिकैप्चर करना था और दूसरा मिशन था उनका 4875 को रिकैप्चर करने का. उन दोनों मिशंस को उन्होंने सफलतापूर्वक पूरा किया, एकम्प्लिश किया. पॉइंट 5140 पर उन्होंने 4 दुश्मनों को मारा और उनके बंकर्स को भी डिस्ट्रॉय किया. जब इस मिशन के लिए वो जाने लगे थे तो उनके जो बटालियन कमांडर थे, उन्होंने उनसे अपना सक्सेस सिग्नल चुनने के लिए कहा था. तो उन्होंने अपना सक्सेस सिग्नल चुना था, ये दिल मांगे मोर. और जब उन्होंने वहां पर 4 दुश्मनों को मारा, कुछ वहां से गिर करके मर गए और कुछ भागने में सफल. इन्होंने वहां पर अपना तिरंगा फहराया. इनके साथ दूसरी चार्ली कंपनी, विक्रम जी की डेल्टा कंपनी थी, और एक चार्ली कंपनी भी थी जिसके सीईओ कंपनी कमांडर संजीव जम्वाल थे. दोनों ने लगभग साथ ही डिफरेंट डायरेक्शन से जो है अटैक करके और अपनी उस पीक को रिकैप्चर की. इसमें जो एक बड़ी महत्वपूर्ण बात मैं समझता हूँ ये थी कि यहाँ पर हमारी तरफ से कोई भी कैजुअलिटी नहीं हुई थी. ये एक बहुत बड़ी बात है. और इसके बाद उनका सेकंड मिशन जो था वो 4875 का था. उसको भी उन्होंने पूरी सफलता से एकम्प्लिश किया है। 4875 पर दुश्मन की फौज भी काफी थी और असला बारूद भी काफी उनके पास था। ये 7 जुलाई को वहां पर हमारी जो सेना है उसने अटैक किया है डिफेंड करने के लिए और अपनी जो हमारी छोटी थी उसको रिकैप्चर करने के लिए। जब लड़ाई चल रही थी मिडनाइट में, तो विक्रम जी का एक जूनियर ऑफिसर लेफ्टिनेंट नवीन नगप्पा जो कि फ्रंट में थे, उनके लेग्स के पास आकर के एक हैंड ग्रेनेड ब्लास्ट होता है और उनकी जो लोअर लेग्स हैं, फोर लिम्स, वो उनकी जो मांसपेशियां फट जाती हैं और वो दर्द से काफी चीख रहे होते हैं। उनके चीखने की आवाज जो है वो विक्रम जी बंकर में थे, उनको सुनाई पड़ती है। तो वो ये कहते हैं कि नवीन घायल हो गए हैं, उनको लाना है। और जैसे ही उनके जो सूबेदार थे, सूबेदार रघुनाथ मुझे अभी याद है, वो जाने की चेष्टा करते तो ये उनको पीछे कर देते हैं कि नहीं आप नहीं जाओगे, मैं जाऊंगा। और इतना कहते हुए वो एकदम से छलांग लगाकर बाहर हो जाते हैं। और फिर नवीन नगप्पा जो कि घायल हो चुके थे काफी सीवियर, उनको जैसे तैसे बुलाकर सुरक्षित से स्थान पर पहुंचाते हैं और वहां पर मोर्चा संभालते हैं। वहां पर उन्होंने 5 लोगों को अकेले ही मारा है, क्लोज कॉम्बैट, हैंड टू हैंड फाइट। पहले 3 लोगों को मारा है, उसके बाद में घायल हो जाते हैं, लेकिन घायल होने के बावजूद भी फिर 2 लोगों को और। तो उसी दौरान कोई दुश्मन सैनिक जो कि किसी चट्टान की ओट में छिपा हुआ था, वो इनको टारगेट करता है और वो गोली आकर के इनके सीने में लगती। तो वहीं पर ये जो है जय माता दी ऐसा बोलते हुए ऐसा बताते हैं कि वो शहादत दे देते। इज कम टू हिज इंजरीज देयर। तो ये उस पर भी ऑलमोस्ट फतेह हो चुकी थी जब ये हादसा हुआ है, क्योंकि उसके बाद जो उनकी जो कंपनी थी, उनके जो सैनिक थे, वो काफी फ्यूरियसली वहां पर जो है अटैक करके, और वो मॉर्निंग तक, अर्ली मॉर्निंग तक जो है वो चोटी भी रिकैप्चर हो जाती है। एंड इस तरीके से जो हमारा वहां पर भी तिरंगा फूला है।
जी सर। सर, जब आप आज के दिन कैप्टन विक्रम बत्रा को याद करते हैं एक पिता के रूप में, तो ऐसी कौन सी याद है, ऐसी कौन सी बात है जो उनके बारे में आपको सबसे ज़्यादा याद आती है?
देखिए, जैसे मैंने उनको ऑब्जर्व किया था बचपन में, तो वो एक बड़े ना एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी आउटस्टैंडिंग चाइल्ड ही वाज। पढ़ाई लिखाई में भी बहुत इंटेलिजेंट, ब्रिलियंट, खेलकूद में भी काफी प्रवीण थे वो। सभी गेम्स खेलते थे लगभग, लेकिन टेबल टेनिस उनका पेट गेम था, जिसमें कि बाद में उन्होंने नेशनल जो सेंट्रल स्कूल केंद्रीय विद्यालय के जो नेशनल गेम्स होते हैं, तो अपने रीजन को नेशनल्स में उन्होंने रिप्रेजेंट किया था। उनकी बहुत सी बातें याद आती हैं, क्योंकि मैंने तो ये जजमेंट कर लिया था कि ये बच्चा जो है ये आगे चल करके कोई बहुत बड़ी शख्सियत बनने वाला है, इतना मेरी जजमेंट थी। आई ऑब्जर्व्ड इट, और वो बने। लेकिन ये पहले किसी को पता नहीं होता है कि वो किस तरीके से ग्रेटनेस अचीव करेगा, या ये बातें तो नहीं बता। तो उनकी बचपन की बातें आप कह रहे हैं तो मुझे बहुत सी बातें याद आती हैं। बड़े हेल्पफुल थे वो। एक बार बस से एक बच्ची गिर गई थी, तो उन्होंने छलांग लगा दी उस बच्ची को बचाने के लिए चलती हुई बस से, और उस बच्ची को हॉस्पिटल लेके गए, उसका फर्स्ट एड कराया, उसको स्क्रैचेस आ गए थे काफ़ी और ब्लीडिंग चल रहा था। तो आई रिमेम्बर इट। और एक बार मुझे याद है कि एक हमारे घर के आंगन में एक स्नेक निकल आया था, तो उनकी माता जी बाहर थी और वो एकदम से चीखी कि कुछ सांप है। विक्रम अंदर से छुट्टी आए हुए थे, तो वो एकदम से विक्रम बाहर आए और उन्होंने डंडे एक दो उठाए और उसका मुंह डंडे से दबा करके और फिर दूसरी डंडे की सहायता से उसको उसमें लपेट करके वो ले जा करके उसको जो है किसी नाले में उसको फेंका, सुनसान स्थान पर। तो बाकी एक मुझे स्मरण आता है कि वो आए हुए थे 2-4 दिन के लिए, तो अपने किसी मित्र के साथ में वो रेस्टोरेंट में कॉफी पी रहे थे। तो उनके जो मित्र थे वो सनी उनका नाम था, तो वो कहने लगे कि विक्की वहां पर सुना है कि कारगिल द्रास में कुछ जंग स्टार्ट हो गई है, तो आप जो है थोड़ा संभल कर रहना। तो उनका ये जवाब था, जिस तरीके से उन्होंने वो किया था कमेंट, तो उन्होंने ये जवाब दिया था कि कमेंट तो मैं नहीं कहूँगा, हिदायत भी कह सकते हैं। तो इन्होंने ये कहा था कि विक्की सनी डोंट वरी, मैं जो है अपनी चोटियों पर या तो तिरंगा फहरा करके आऊंगा या तिरंगे में लिपटा हुआ वापस आऊंगा। और हम देखते हैं कि उन्होंने अपनी दोनों ही बातों को जो है पूरा किया। इसमें बहुत सी उनके विषय में बहुत सी बातें हैं। मुझे और याद आती है एक घटना उनकी कि वो छुट्टी आए हुए थे और कार खरीद ली हुई थी उन्होंने अपनी सर्विस के दौरान। अभी 6 महीने हुए थे तो उन्होंने कार खरीद ली थी। कार हमारे पास ही होती थी पालमपुर में। तो वो कार ले करके ड्राइव करके और आर्मी कैंप जहाँ पर कि केंद्रीय विद्यालय था उनका, उस तरफ को घूमने के लिए गए हुए थे। तो वो कुछ लेडीज वहां से आ रही थी, 2-3 लेडीज स्कूल के सामने से। तो पहले तो इतना वो उनको लगा नहीं कि भाई कौन है ये, लेकिन थोड़ा आगे जाने के बाद उनको ये महसूस हुआ कि ये तो मेरी टीचर्स थी। तो वहां पर वो ब्रेक लगाते हैं और अपनी गाड़ी को वो रिवर्स में वापस लाते हैं जहां पर वो महिलाएं जा रही थी। तो वहां ला करके रोक करके वो उतरते हैं और अपने जो टीचर्स थे उनके चरण स्पर्श करते। तो बाद में उन्हीं अध्यापिकाओं ने मेरे मिसेस को ये बताया कि आपका बेटा जो है वो बहुत डाउन टू अर्थ है। इवन आफ्टर बीइंग ए ऑफिसर ही डिड लाइक दिस, ही गेव द फुल रिगार्ड्स टू टीचर्स। सो ऐसी बहुत सी अनेक बातें उनके बारे में अगर मैं बताने लगूंगा तो इट विल टेक लॉट ऑफ टाइम।
सर आपने
बहुत फ्रेंडली थे, बहुत फ्रेंडली थे, बड़ों की इज्जत करना, छोटों से प्यार करना, बड़े जॉली भी थे, ह्यूमरस सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर बहुत था उनके अंदर और बड़ा ग्रेसफुल उनके लुक्स थे बहुत। सो ही वाज जस्ट एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी एंड आउटस्टैंडिंग पर्सन।
बत्रा जी, आपने समय निकाला, हमसे बातचीत की और कैप्टन विक्रम बत्रा को हम सब सलाम करते हैं। वो सबके लिए इंस्पिरेशन है, सिर्फ फोर्सेस के लिए ही नहीं बल्कि पूरे देश के लिए वो एक बहुत बड़ी प्रेरणा है और उनको सदैव याद रखा जाएगा। और इससे बड़ी उपलब्धि मुझे लगता है किसी इंसान के लिए, किसी मनुष्य के लिए, किसी सोल्जर के लिए नहीं हो सकती। आपने समय निकाला, हमारे साथ ये बातें रूबरू की, उसके लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर।
शुक्रिया।
All right, now we're gonna have a conversation with Captain Naveen Nagappa, who pursued his childhood dream by joining the Indian Army. He courageously volunteered to participate in the Kargil war. At times, he endured more than 60 hours without food or water in the killing cold. And during the war, he took an initiative to attack on a bunker occupied by the enemy, of course. This caused him to become severely injured by a grenade that in fact injured both of his legs. Since then, he suffers from partial paralysis in the left leg and a shortening of his right leg. After 21 months of hospitalization and 8 surgeries, he was declared medically unfit to serve in the army. For his bravery shown during the Kargil war, Naveen Nagappa was awarded the Sena Medal. Today he joins us live. Naveen Nagappa, Captain Naveen Nagappa, appreciate you speaking with us. I hope आप मेरी आवाज़ सुन पा रहे हैं।
Yeah, loud and clear.
Captain Nagappa, I appreciate you joining us. You're a hero. You're an inspiration for all of us. And you know, thank you for securing us. Thank you for safeguarding the lives of billions of Indians, who owe a big gratitude to you. Today is Kargil Diwas. What do you remember of that fateful day when you were injured? Take our viewers through the journey that you endured yourself. And we are happy that, you may have been injured, which was unfortunate, but you're alive and you're well to talk about your glories and your heroics.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on this platform. What better occasion than 25 years of Kargil war? I hope I'm audible.
Loud and clear, sir. Loud and clear.
Perfect, perfect. Firstly, no, to put things straight away in perspective, I don't consider myself Kargil war hero. You know, a soldier, in case of an emergency, in case of the enemy is at your doorsteps, the first thing the soldier is supposed to do is fight the battle, and that's what I did. It's been the country, the citizens have been magnanimous enough by calling me Kargil war hero. Otherwise, I consider myself a person, a soldier who has just done his job. Having said that, uh, to put uh, to put the audience in to know about my background, suffice to say that people call me unfortunate. Unfortunate because of the reason that I trained for a span of 1 year in the Indian Military Academy, 1 year training, joined the unit called 13th Battalion Jammu and Kashmir Rifles in January 1999. I get hurt by an enemy grenade on 7th of July. That means in a span of 6 months, 7 days, I get injured, and then the hospitalization period for was about 21 months, underwent 8 major surgeries. Subsequently, I was medically discharged from the defense forces. So if you consider my whole tenure as an army officer in the defense forces, 1 year of training, 6 months of active service, 21 months of hospitalization, and then no, I'm out. I was out of the defense forces. So that's why people call me unfortunate. But rather, let me put everything in perspective. I consider myself the most fortunate person. Firstly, because I wanted to don the uniform. I wanted to join the defense forces. God has been very kind. God has been magnanimous that I got this opportunity. That I was selected in the very first attempt. And then within a span of 6 months, remember 1971 was the last battle which I was fought before the Kargil war. So I joined at a time when 6 months later the Kargil war happens. It's not that we are warmongers. It's not that we look forward to the war. It's not that we like killing people. But if the war is thrust upon us, might as well give the enemy a befitting reply. That's what we did. And in the bargain, I got injured by an enemy grenade, and yeah, there was. You want me to narrate how I got injured?
Sure,
Should
sir.
I go it in one go?
Sure, sir. Please, please.
Okay. I'll straight away come to 13th Battalion Jammu and Kashmir Rifles. As I told, it's in the history of independent India. If there is any one unit which has won 2 Paramveer Chakras in a single battle, that is my unit, 13th Battalion Jammu and Kashmir Rifles. Very proud that I represent that unit. बत्रा अंकल की बात अब आपने अभी सुनी. Captain Vikram Batra was one legend who was from 13th Battalion Jammu and Kashmir Rifles. Then Rifleman Sanjay Kumar was another legend. These were the two people who were awarded 2 Paramveer Chakras, and I'm mighty glad that I got an opportunity to fight alongside these two brave hearts on a feature called 4875. Now, coming to 4875, 13th Battalion Jammu and Kashmir Rifles launched 2 attacks. The attack on point 5140, the first attack was on point 5140. When we call point 5140, for the benefit of audience, I would like to say, when we talk about 5140, that effectively means it is 5,140 meters above sea level. Now, if I don't explain what is the atmosphere, what is the kind of rarefied atmosphere out there, it's just a number, or it's just a hill or a hillock for the audience. Just like to dwell upon 5140. When we say 5140, 5,140 meters above sea level, approximately 16 to 17,000 feet. You can well imagine the kind of atmosphere there. It's a rarefied atmosphere. The oxygen content, we all are sitting comfortably in our rooms. AC is on, AC is not on, but comfortable. The amount of oxygen content which gets into our body when we inhale and compared to vis-a-vis what is there on point 5140 at 17,000 feet is less than 50%. The oxygen content being low, that not every 10 steps you take you'll have to rest, because the oxygen, the body is not getting sufficient amount of oxygen. The gradient is very steep, winds blowing at terrific speeds, and sub-zero temperatures always. And on top of that, if you are carrying around 25 to 30 kgs of arms, ammunitions, and whatnot, you can well imagine the kind of the fighting a battle was one part, but reaching up to the enemy was another battle in itself. So first attack was on point 5140, led by Captain Vikram Batra and Captain Sanjeev Singh Jambal. What a fantastic attack they carried out. This was we all know that the battle was won within a span of 48 hours, and then the famous quote by Captain Vikram Batra where he said, "Ye dil mange more." And we all are aware this was just not a slogan. After winning point 5140 on a radio signal, he had given the success signal, "Ye dil mange more." And it was, as I told, it was just not a slogan for Captain Vikram Batra. The kind of personality he was. We all have.
What are your memories?
On YouTube.
What are your memories of Captain Batra?
Oh, I met him in the first time when I joined the battalion. That is January 1999. I joined. I joined in a place called Sopor. The unit was located in a place called Sopor, which is around 60 odd kilometers from Srinagar. We were into counter-insurgency operations. We were not on line of control. And that is the time, although I had met him in the academy, but face-to-face, personal interaction, Indian Military Academy, we had trained together. We were in the same battalion. I was in Maniksha Battalion, Zuzila Company. He was in the same battalion. So we had a couple of interactions. But the first personal interaction was January 99 when I joined 13th Battalion Jammu and Kashmir Rifles in Sopor. That is the first time I came across this officer. And to be fair, we had another officer called Major Ajay Singh Jasrotia, and these two officers, and I'm not talking just because we lost these two officers, but what fantastic set of officers 13th Battalion Jammu and Kashmir Rifles had. One was Major Ajay Singh Jasrotia, and the next was Captain Vikram Batra. The first time I came across Captain Vikram Batra, I felt he was. Let me tell you, he was a very jovial person when we are off duty, and once we are going to launch an attack or there's some intelligence, we are going to lay an ambush, he meant business, and he was a terror for amongst us also, for among own officers, among juniors, among his men, among his soldiers. He was a terror when it comes to the job, when it comes to the work. And off office hours, off work, when we have just got together, having fun, he was the most jovial person around. Fantastic personality. He held my hand, and he was the one, all the set of officers. What kind of officers we had? Captain Vikram Batra was there, Major Ajay Singh Jasrotia, Captain Jambal was there, our RMO, our medical officer, Rajesh Yadav was there, Joe sir, Lieutenant Colonel Vijay Joshi, who rose up to the rank of Army Commander, Lieutenant General. He was there, Major Gurpreet Singh, Major Bhaskar. Fantastic set of officers. I strongly believe 13 JACRF achieved whatever little bit it achieved because of the finest set of officers we had. It's not that just the officers contributed, even the men contributed, but these set of officers led from the front. That is why we could achieve whatever we did achieve.
Right.
Yeah, that was my first impression. The first time I came across. Sorry, you're saying something?
Yeah, so let me come back to you. At this point in time, we are also joined by Beena ji, who's the mother, and Sunita ji, who's the sister of Rifleman Sunil Chandra, who's joining us on the broadcast. बीना जी और सुनीता जी, अगर आप मेरी आवाज़ सुन पा रहे हैं तो हमसे बातचीत करने के लिए, समय निकालने के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आज 25 साल बीत चुके हैं इस जंग को, इस लड़ाई को जीते हुए, इस पूरे माहौल को देखते हुए, और जो कंट्रीब्यूशन रहा है, जो योगदान रहा है राइफलमैन सुनील चंद्रा का, उसको लेकर आप आज क्या टिप्पणी करना चाहेंगे? क्या यादें हैं आपकी 25 साल पुरानी?
नमस्ते सर। अब इतने साल तो हो गए, 25 साल हो गए, सिल्वर जुबली पूरा हमारे भारतवर्ष मना रही है, और जिसने हमारी देश को दबाने के लिए, हराने के लिए कईयों ऐसे षड्यंत्र रचा था, उसमें हमारी वीर जवानों ने उनको पराजय कर दिया। अच्छा लगता है, 25 साल हो गए और यहाँ के यूपी के लोग ने भी बहुत याद करते जंग को, और खुशी तो है सर मुझे, मेरे बेटे ने इतना अच्छा काम किया। इतने छोटे उम्र में 16 साल 6 दिन में वो भर्ती हुआ था और 19 साल में उसने कारगिल वार में भाग लिए। और मेरे ससुर जी भी सर आर्मी के अफसर थे, मेजर, उन्होंने भी एक वार लड़ी है। मेरे हस्बैंड ने 91 की वार लड़ी, और 71 की वार, 71 के वार मेरे हस्बैंड ने, और मेरे बेटा ने 99 की। मुझे बहुत प्राउड फील होता है। मेरे घर में सब माहौल ही ऐसे ही थी कि जो पूरे आर्मी से थे, और बचपन से भी उसको यही थी कि उन्हें अदर फील्ड कुछ भी नहीं चुना सर। उसने बस इतना ही देखा कि मुझे जाना है तो आर्मी में ही जाना, अपने पापा की तरह, अपने दादा की तरह मुझे आर्मी में ही जाना है। और उसने उसी फील्ड में अपने आप को सेक्रीफाइस किया सर, कभी एक्सरसाइज करना, कभी कुछ करना। जब हम लोग पोस्टेड थे सर उड़ीसा में, तब उसने फैंसी ड्रेस के लिए कहा अपने पापा को, पापा मुझे ड्रेस बना दो आर्मी के। इनके पापा ने ड्रेस बना दिए आर्मी के। तो उसने फैंसी ड्रेस में कहा, मैं अपने देश के लिए खून का एक एक कतरा बहाऊंगा। और नकली पिस्तौल उसने चला ली और मरने का एक्टिंग की सर। उस समय उसने फर्स्ट भी मिला उनको। तो फिर सर उसने जो बचपन में वादा किया था, मैं देश के लिए एक एक कतरा बहाऊंगा, उसने वाकई जवानी में ये वादा उसने पूरा किया सर। जी अच्छा ही लगता है, और परिवार में आर्मी के माहौल के वजह से। जी सर। जी सर।
कारगिल को याद करके, कारगिल के बारे में सोच के, आप 25 साल बीत चुके हैं बीना जी, आपको सुनील की कौन सी ऐसी बात है, एक ऐसी बात जो अभी भी याद आती है?
सर वैसे तो बहुत सारे ऐसे यादें हैं, लेकिन एक बात है सर, वो ऐसा मतलब सबसे घुल मिल जाता था, सबसे मतलब मिलता था। और जब स्कूल जाते बस में, अगर किसी को सीट न मिली, कोई हैंडीकैप बच्चे को सीट न मिली तो वो सीट दे देना, अगर उनको टिफ़िन अच्छा नहीं तो वो टिफ़िन दे देना, किसी का शर्ट अगर कोई महिला हो तो अपना शर्ट खोल के दे देना। और कभी घर में कोई भिखारी वगैरह, कोई लेडीज़ आई, कोई बच्चे वाला, तो उनका बच्चा पकड़ना और उनको बैग से जितना पैसा आया वो सब देना। उनकी यही आदत थी, मिलनसार आदत थी। और खेलकूद में भी ऑलराउंडर सर वो, और बॉक्सिंग भी अच्छा खेलता था। फुटबॉल उसकी बहुत चॉइस थी सर, बहुत फुटबॉल खेलता था। और हर चीज़ में गिटार भी अच्छा बजाता था, मतलब ऑलराउंडर था सर। और हम लोग को बहुत ही ज़्यादा उसने सपोर्ट किया है सर। और हमेशा मुझे ये कहता था, मम्मी पापा आपका नाम तो मैं बहुत रखूँगा, आपका मान सम्मान इतना दिलाऊंगा। तो मैं कहती थी चलो ठीक है, तू पढ़ लिख ना, तुम्हारे नाम से तो हम जान जाएंगे। लेकिन मुझे पता नहीं थी सर कि उसने इस तरीक़े से हमारा नाम रखेगा। आपको तो इतना मैं आराम दे दूंगा मम्मी, आप तो बिस्तर से उठ भी नहीं पाओगे। इतना मतलब उन्होंने हम लोग को इतना ज़्यादा मतलब प्यार भी किया। कई ऐसे यादें भी है। और सबसे बड़ी बात है, उसने अपने आप को देश के लिए सेक्रीफाइस की थी सर।
जी।
कभी उसने
बीना जी, उनके इस त्याग के लिए, उनके इन सेक्रीफाइस के लिए पूरा देश उनका आभारी है और उनको हमेशा याद रखा जाएगा। Lance Naik Bhagwan Singh hailed from Papurna village. Lance Naik Bhagwan was recruited into the Rajput regiment, and during Kargil war, Lance Naik Bhagwan Singh was deployed in Nubra. Nubra Valley is located in the Siachen Glacier, and Lance Naik Bhagwan was a part of Operation Meghdut. Park bunker was located at a place that needed a 85-degree climb. Not only did Lance Naik achieve capture it but manned it for a day. He could not hold on to it after a regrouped ambush from Pakistan, but he still managed to eliminate 2 enemy soldiers but was martyred due to an injury that he sustained. We are joined by Supriya Kumari, daughter of Lance Nayak Bhagwan Singh, on the show. सुप्रिया जी, हमसे बातचीत करने के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आप मेरी बात सुन पा रही हैं?
हाँ जी, मैं आपको सुन पा रही हूँ.
आपकी क्या उम्र थी जब आपके पिता इस लड़ाई में शहीद हुए, और क्या याद है आपको उस दिन के बारे में?
I was 4 when he was martyred in 1999 Kargil war. तो मैं 4 साल की थी जब मेरे पिताजी शहीद हुए कारगिल में. और मेरे पास कुछ मतलब आई वुड से ना मेमोरीज नहीं है कुछ भी शेयर करने के लिए, क्योंकि एवरीथिंग हैज गॉट ब्लर. Like I'm not even sure whether the moment was with my father or not. But I would say na, eventually, जैसे I got into like first or second class, then I like slowly started realizing, okay, my father was martyred in the Kargil war. He was serving in the Indian Army. But definitely, I hear the stories about him from my relatives, from my family members, from my mother, from his service mates who were like who were serving with him in the Indian Army in the 27 Rajput Regiment that time, and who were also part of the team during the Kargil, who were with him, people like who were with him during that war. So according to him, I know that he was a very well disciplined guy. He loved helping people, very dedicated towards his service. So definitely, like when he was at home, like my relatives, his sisters, जब मुझे कहानियाँ सुनाती हैं उनकी, तो वो हमेशा मुझे यही कहते हैं कि ना, he was very dedicated and responsible. तो जब वो घर पे होते थे, तो वो जो एक घर गृहस्थी की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थी वो अच्छे से निभाते थे. घर में जो भी काम है सबको हेल्प करना है, किसी को हॉस्पिटल जाना है. He did everything when he was on his leave at house. And जब वो वहाँ सर्व कर रहे थे तब भी डेडिकेट करते थे पूरी तरीके से. I got to know this from the brigadier colonel who was serving that time, and other his service mates. So I feel कि from those stories कि the most important thing for him that time was to dedicate himself completely to his service, and he did that. He he was supposed to come for the leave to our house that time, and he wrote a letter to my mom that time कि मैं घर आऊँगा तो मैं सुप्रिया को मतलब स्कूल में एडमिशन करवाना है जयपुर में अच्छे स्कूल में. मैंने सब प्लान कर रखा है जब भी मैं आऊँगा. एंड देन ही कैंसिल हिज लीव क्योंकि वॉर के वजह से, एंड ही वाज डिप्लॉयड देयर विद हिज टीम टू कैप्चर दैट पॉइंट. एंड आई नो फ्रॉम हिज people who were serving that time in that war that the temperature was -degrees and they did not had anything to eat for like 2 days, 3 days. So it was hard, but at same time it's very inspiring and motivating for me that you are supposed to do your duty with the complete courage, wisdom, dedication, so bravery. And we all should do that in our jobs. Somehow we all should serve our nation. So something that I learned from him, though I don't have much memories with him, but still, when you hear these stories about him from people around you, so I feel ki, whatever
but
he did.
Supriya,
right.
how was it growing up listening to these stories of heroism that your father displayed?
I sometimes.
How did it inspire
good,
you
but
personally? How did it inspire you personally?
It does inspire me, to be well disciplined, to be well mannered, to be responsible towards my family. friends, of office colleagues, or like, to do the selfless service. Because, but at same time, sometimes I feel, there is, I feel like, his presence, sometimes, I feel like maybe if he was here, then things should have been different. Though I know, like, that's really stupid to imagine that now. But at same time, I think I have become more self-dependent earlier, as I was supposed to, because of his stories, and I knew that he's not here with me. But at same time, always felt like my mom used to say that, he is the guiding light somewhere, and I feel that, personal loss is there, and war is never a solution, but at that time it was the necessary thing to, to make things correct. But at same time, I pray and hope that the war like that never ever take place again, because when you meet the families, those who have lost their family member in the war, then you can feel that personal loss that cannot be ever recovered. But
You're
at
right,
same
Supriya.
time, those families come up much and much stronger, I would say, because after my father was serving the Indian Army, but my mother was handling everything at her home. So she managed everything on her own. She is a very strong woman, and she made us also very strong. So you definitely become strong, and you can. I feel like I can face any kind of struggle in life because of my father and because of my mother.
Right.
So
So,
you
Supriya, you're very
learn that.
brave. You're very brave. You're as brave as your father, if not more. And we salute, of course, what your father did, and we also salute what you have assimilated from your father. Thank you so much for speaking with NewsX and giving your thoughts on this momentous occasion. Group Captain Rajiv Verma, Western Air Command Force ATC, who served during the Kargil War, is also joining us to share his thoughts. Group Captain Verma, appreciate you joining us, sir. I hope you can hear me.
Hello. Good evening to all of you.
So, what do you remember of the Kargil War? You've joined us for the past few minutes. You've heard stories of people who have lost somebody or the other in this war 25 years ago. What is that that vivid memory that sort of storms your mind when you think of Kargil War?
You see, I was very fortunate to be a part of that war, because I remember I was a wing commander at that time, and being in the air defense system, I was in the hub center of the operations room from where the air operations were being conducted. You see, I may tell all the viewers that while we lost 527 brave soldiers, some of the family members are there, and I pay my homage to them today. I would also like to recall the significant contribution by the Indian Air Force in those operations. This was called as Operation Safed Sagar, maybe because of the snow-clad mountain ranges, it was named like that. When the war started, initially it was not assessed that how much would be the magnitude of this war or this battle, they thought initially. But within a few days, we realized, or the government realized, that perhaps there is a need to include participation by the Air Force also, because the high peaks from where the Pakistanis were, aiming fire at our forces, it was becoming very difficult for our forces to move uphill. So, if I remember correctly, it was perhaps on 11th of May when the Air Force operations were injected. And that included a vast network of radars, surveillance in those areas, and launching of Air Force helicopters and the fighter aircraft like MiGs and Mirages to bomb those areas in the Kargil Valley and uphill. Now, soon we realized, our pilots realized, that doing bombing in those ranges was a different ball game. You see, you may be all aware that the height of those hills, elevation of those hills is anywhere between 3,000 meters to 5,000 meters, like 16,000 feet, where there is very less oxygen. The air density is much different from what it is at the ground. Similarly, the aiming and accuracy of bombing became all the more difficult. And we found that you drop a bomb, and the bomb, even though aimed correctly, but because of the air density, air temperature, and those high altitudes, it goes little away. And in the hills, that bomb was not making impact. So soon, Mirages were pulled in, and Mirage sorties were launched, because of which the accuracy became much more. And because of that accuracy and the inputs from our ground network of radars, we were able to achieve a significant success in those air operations. And soon, the Pakistanis, they realized that the air support which they were getting from Pakistan was almost nullified because of our air support from this side. So, our Air Force was able to keep those F-16s of Pakistan at bay. They were not able to come close in support of their forces. And on the other hand, our aircraft were able to make a significant impact. And lot many operations were carried out, reconnaissance, then search and rescue of our soldiers. And if you remember, Squadron Leader Satish Ahuja, he was Squadron Leader Ajay Ahuja. He gave his life in this operation. Then one of the Air Force officers, Flight Lieutenant Nachiketa, was taken a prisoner of war for a few days, and he was returned also after about 9 days of captivity, if I remember, around that much. So he was returned. So I also happened to visit Kargil immediately after the war, like 26th July, when the ceasefire took place. There were some other plans, deployment plans, because of which I had to go there. So shelling was still continuing. It was very, scary at night. That the moment the sun goes down, there was heavy shelling from the hills. So even though they say that, okay, it was a ceasefire, but it was not actually a ceasefire. The shelling was on for quite a few days. So what I want to say today, when I remember all those movements, all those operations, all those activities in which I was a part of it, I am grateful to those families who bore those sons who fought that war for the whole of India. I salute these ladies, brave ladies, who have lost their father, their near and dear ones.
Right, sir.
And at that time, they were not even aware of what was happening. But I salute them, and this is what I want to say, and I pay my homage to all the brave soldiers, those who fought and saved our country in that fierce battle.
Absolutely. Captain Verma, appreciate your heartening message, as well as, narration about what really happened and how you were instrumental in analyzing how to ward off the enemy using not only our might but also our strategy. Garima, daughter of Lance Naik Jagdeep Singh Shekhawat, is also joining us from Jhunjhunu in Rajasthan. Garima ji, NewsX से बातचीत करने के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. और आपने इतना धैर्य दिखाया, इतना पेशेंस दिखाया। आप 6 बजे से हमारे साथ जुड़ी हुई हैं, आपने सबकी बातें भी सुनी। आपने देखा कि किस तरीके से इस लड़ाई की जो खट्टी मीठी यादें हैं उसको एक तरह से दोबारा जागृत किया जाता है आज के दिन 26 जुलाई को। अपने पिताजी को लेके, लांस नायक जगदीप सिंह शेखावत को लेके आपकी क्या यादें हैं? आपको देख के मुझे लग रहा है कि शायद आप बहुत छोटे होंगे जब ये लड़ाई हुई होगी। गरिमा जी, मैं आपकी आवाज़ नहीं सुन पा रहा हूँ। अगर आप अपने हेडफोन का जो माइक है उसके नज़दीक आकर, हाँ जी बताइए।
जी, मैं 13 महीने की थी उस टाइम पे।
तो आपको तो कुछ याद नहीं होगा, पर जैसे जैसे आप बड़े हुए, जैसे जैसे होश संभाला, क्या बातें सुनने को मिली आपको लांस नायक जगदीप सिंह शेखावत के बारे में?
ही वाज फन लविंग और फैमिली से बहुत अच्छे से रहते थे। 29 इयर्स के थे उस टाइम पे, और जब जॉब लगे थे वो उस टाइम पे 19 इयर्स के थे। ऑलमोस्ट 10 इयर्स की उनकी जॉब थी। मैरिज को 5 साल हुए थे और मैं 13 महीने की थी उस टाइम पे। जब डेड बॉडी हमारे घर से 1 या 2 किलोमीटर पे थी, उस टाइम हमें पता चला था। उससे पहले तो पता ही नहीं था। हम फैमिली को उस टाइम बताया गया था और सबको पता था। न्यूज़पेपर वगैरह सब बंद कर दिए गए थे ताकि पता नहीं चले। बस 2 किलोमीटर दूर यहाँ पे बगड़ लगता है पास में, वहाँ पे जब आ गए थे तब पता चला था।
आपके परिवार में आपके भाई बहन, आपके माता और
मैं एक ही हूँ,
और उनके माँ बाप पर किस तरीके का आभास हुआ इस पूरी लड़ाई को लेकर और इस दुखद समाचार को लेकर भी?
बहन भाई तो नहीं है, मैं एक ही थी। और दादू था दादी था को तो उसी टाइम पे पता चला था। तब दादू था तो बेहोश हो गए थे, उनको पता भी नहीं था क्या हुआ, क्या नहीं था। उसके बाद जब घर से लेके उसके बाद होश में कराया गया, मम्मी को सबको तभी पता चला था। यहाँ पे लेके आ गए थे 10-15 मिनट पहले, जब घर पे लेके आए थे उससे 10 या 15 मिनट पहले घर पे बताया गया था।
चलिए, मैं आपके पास लौटूंगा। जनरल वीके सिंह, फॉर्मर आर्मी चीफ and former union minister, is also joining us at this point in time. General Singh, honored to have you on this program, sir. First up, sir, you were serving as a commander of the 168 Infantry Brigade in Samba during Kargil. What are your memories of the war, sir?
I remember when the thing started by news of some infiltration carried out by some terrorist groups, and then it escalated. Some of our posts were attacked, some patrols that had gone were ambushed, and that is the time the enormity was realized in Northern Command and 15 Corps. So a lot of people were rushed at that time, and at the same time when things operations started, everybody in J&K got deployed, which included 168 Infantry Brigade, because from there the IB from the National Highway is only 8 kilometers. So at that time the dimensions were not known as to whether this was a ruse by Pakistanis to distract us and do something else in Kashmir, or we had to also take our own defensive measures and be prepared to retaliate where we could. You would know that the 1972 agreement, which was signed, the Shimla agreement, it says that the line of control so delineated by the military commanders will not be changed despite any differences to the contrary, which meant that it is almost permanent, and any violation of the line of control meant war against the country, and that is how Kargil was seen by us, and we were free to retaliate against this kind of act of hostility against us anywhere along the border, including the international border.
General VK Singh, what were the immediate challenges, according to you, that were faced when Pakistan infiltrated and took over these heights?
I think there's one thing which we must all admit, that there was an institutional intelligence drawback that we suffered from. Why we suffered, I think Kargil committee did go into it. I'm not sure how it has been addressed thereafter, but this was a glaring issue that when Pakistanis were concentrating on the other side, building up their logistics, number of helicopter flights were taking place, nobody seemed to have any inkling. Now, what were the various agencies who were tasked for this doing? That's a question which I've asked myself a number of times. Had they been slightly more vigilant, had they been slightly more active, maybe we wouldn't have allowed these people to come to the heights at all.
You're right, sir. There was an intelligence failure. But what were the lessons that we learned from the Kargil war, and how did we improve our preparedness?
First lesson, I think, which the armed forces learnt was, you have to be prepared at all times to take action against any hostile action that may occur. You cannot trust your neighbors and trust their leaders who will profess something, but somebody else will do something else, which is a typical case which you saw out there. Musharraf did it, he was their chief. Their Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif said he doesn't know. Now, how can it be possible? So therefore, the first lesson, I think, is we need to be prepared, we need to be clear as to what can happen, and our intelligence setup must give us a realistic, timely feedback so that we are not taken by surprise. The second lesson that came out was that a particular type of conflict in high altitude area has its own dynamics. This is the area which is stony, this is the area where there is no cover available, there is no trees or grass or anything, people are seen for miles. In such an area, it requires a different methodology of tackling it. We did tackle it, and I would like to say that I salute our soldiers, and especially the 527 who laid their lives. Besides that, 1300 something were wounded, but I think overall each and everybody who was deployed out there performed superbly. It was a performance which is above human endurance and stamina.
And so, of course, the more important question is, what does the Kargil war also teach us to not forget about our neighbor, Pakistan?
No, it teaches us that you cannot trust your neighbors, especially someone who has never adhered to any agreement. And I told you, the lesson was that you need to be prepared all the time. You can't be saying, okay, there's been no war for so many years, therefore, let's not bother about the armed forces. I think that will be a wrong mentality.
So do you think that Pakistan can dare to even think about a Kargil-like operation today?
I think Pakistan has also learnt a lesson that the Jawans of Indian Army and the armed forces of India are capable of tackling them anywhere that they can come. Whether they come to the super high altitude, they come to the high altitude, they come to jungles, they come to riverine area, or they come to deserts. The mettle of our soldiers is such that we will vanquish them.
And General VK Singh, what do you think India needs to do to focus on the next steps to prepare for any kind of a future warfare, sir?
See, the warfare, the methodology is changing, new technology is coming in. Each day sees a new thing coming up. You can't say, okay, what happened 25 years back will again happen. yes, a thing can happen, but the way it will happen will be different. The nature will be different, the way it will be executed will be different, and therefore we need to keep abreast of the developments that are taking place all over the world, and how do we look after the very diverse borders that we have.
So last question before we let you go. What do you make of the Shikuntala tunnel? How will it help the Army's operations and ease?
Shikuntala tunnel has been in the offing for the last 25 years. We realized that we needed a 365-day accessibility into Ladakh region, which includes Kargil. So it is, after a long wait by the armed forces, it has now come about. I was in the Ministry of Road, Highways and Transport. We ensured that it gets passed and it comes up as fast as possible. The work has started. I am very happy that the work has started, and it will be of great dividend to us.
General Singh, appreciate you joining us, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.